Can you recall a time in your life where certain events propelled your business to where it is today?
The beginning of everything is when my mom met my dad, and he was an engineer and computer engineer. Basically, he met my mom, and she just saw a predisposition in him for art, because he was constantly drawing different sketches, making something with his hands. And she basically told him, well, why don't you become a jeweler? And he said, well, I know nothing about jewelry. And she said, why don't you try it out? So he went to intern at at the largest jewelry factory back in Soviet Union.
Wow.
And in less than a year, he became its chief designer. And the rest is basically history. The second major event was when we immigrated to United States in '91, which is exactly 10 years later after he became a jeweler. And it was like moving to another planet, basically. It was a very challenging time because, we didn't know any language or had any connections or anything, so had to basically really start from the scratch, from building our life again. And that was the second major event in our family and in the business. Another major event, I would say, would be the when I called Neiman Marcus, the Neiman Marcus buyer, Eric Ford, who's still is the buyer, a good friend of mine, and a man who I really respect. And when I called him, it was just a cold call. I didn't know who he was or anything.
Exactly.
That was in 2006. So I called him and I said, hey, listen, there's this amazing jewelry artist that I represent.
Right.
Even though that I was his daughter.
Right.
And would you like to come in and see the jewelry at the next trade show? And he agreed, to my surprise. It takes a lot of passion. I always say to people, who ask me, how did you make it? And it's not exactly making it, per se, as constantly improving yourself, constantly striving to be better, and constantly growing. That is very important. So it's not like you reach this goal and then you stop. In order to be successful in any business or in any career, you constantly have to grow. Otherwise, you will fail. Especially now, since the times are so changing now, every day, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, right? So it's now it's more important than ever to just constantly reinvent yourself, constantly question, are you doing something? Are you doing enough? Are you creating enough? Are you being creative in your work? Do you have enough passion?
So in a way, you're constantly staying young in your mind, right? Because some people that tried something like 20 years ago or 10 years ago, and they're still sitting, nothing's happening, right? While you are forced to constantly change the brain to think, and for your company to stay, I guess, productive and young, right? And in the sense of thinking, right?
Yeah, I would say that, although I don't know about young, because a lot of young people are not wise. So it's a combination of things. You have to be savvy.
Definitely. But once you have achieved some success, it is challenging to keep learning, because some people say, oh, well, I've made it. But you, as you said, you never say this. You can never think that. You're like thinking, what's next? How else can we improve our customers' experiences, right?
Yes. I mean, as my dad always says, and he's very right, that you have to constantly learn. Once you stop learning, you stop living, basically. Well, it's a growth process. Learning is a growth process. It's your
Right.
development, your inner development as a human being. So I don't know. I mean, to me, it's like a second nature.
Right.
I don't see myself staying in one place all the time.
You yourself, as their daughter, you were not involved in the business until later on, and I think it brought the biggest success with you being a partner, an executive director, in the amount of marketing you do, and how you put things in such a creative way. I want to everyone to hear this story, because it wasn't just that you were just from the beginning. You're like, yeah, I'm part of it. You were exploring something else. So tell us about that.
Well, yes, I was. When I was in college, I was. My major was diplomacy, international studies, and my second
Mm-hmm.
was philosophy. So
Okay.
it was a completely different field. I interned at UN as well. Was actually present at the Security Council when the Kosovo resolution was.
Wow.
So
Mm-hmm.
I was like right there in being part of the history making. And then I just started to, once I was kind of part-timing with my parents when I was in college,
Mm-hmm.
helping them out with the workload and whatnot at the office.
Right.
I started to realize, especially when I started to study art history more in college, and all the Renaissance masters like Da Vinci and Bernini. Bernini is actually a Baroque, but all the old school masters, I realized how talented my dad really is, and it kind of dawned on me that he's like a modern day Leonardo da Vinci. He's
Yes.
Leonardo da Vinci of jewelry. That's where the hashtag actually came from. Whenever I do posts on social media, I always tag Alex Soldier is Leonardo da Vinci,
Right. Right.
because mainly because he's not only a jeweler, he's an inventor, and he comes up, his mind is constantly working on something new, and his engineering mind, it's never never a dull moment with him. So he constantly invents something, like the metal work that he applies onto all of his jewelry that he invented the tools for,
Wow.
or the video studio that he put together himself, like from all the different parts. It's incredible. All my photography friends and photographers that come to visit us in our Times Square studio, they always say, "Oh my God, you have to patent this, because we've never seen anything like it before." So it's like it's constantly, he can make anything work, basically. And that's what I realized. And I'm like, I just thought that who else can bring so much passion to representing his work than his own daughter. So and that's how I kind of, once I developed passion and understanding for his work and for his aesthetic as an artist, I realized that I would probably be the only person who can make this happen, in the way
Right.
that, to put it on an international level, on an international
Exactly.
scene of major artists.
Right, right.
So
Well, this is wonderful. This is incredible, because you combined all your knowledge on your international knowledge, and you started to showcase the brand in a new light, right? With all
yeah,
the modern things that we're using. In a way, your dad is really lucky to have you.
I think we're both very lucky to have one another, to have our family. It's I wouldn't say that it's one person is represented by the brand. It's all the people. It's the teamwork that
Oh,
come.
definitely, definitely. And when I visited New York, there's so much love in your family. I was really touched. The other thing is that I really personally would love to see more behind the scenes, because when I visited your dad's place in New York, I was absolutely breathtaking on how many interesting things there are in the technology and all the things he has invented. It was really incredible. I would like to know not only the final product, but actually what is happening there. It is so interesting. I'm sure everyone would love to see that.
Yes, I try to film him as much as possible. Well, now it's not possible because we've been our offices have been actually closed for most of the month of April. I mean, we
Right.
open sometimes to send the packages here and there, but we don't receive clients, of course, or he's just there. Sometimes he comes in and works on some things, but when we're all there, sometimes I sneak up on him and kind of like film behind the scenes so that he
Right.
sees it, because the more natural it is, I think the more appealing it is to people to really see
Right,
the
right.
really
It's
behind
just
the scenes,
honest. Yeah,
yeah, the
absolutely.
honest representation of what he's all
Mm-hmm.
about, of his work. So, and he always gets mad. He's like, "Oh, look at me, like I'm covered in dust, or I don't look good." And I'm like, but that doesn't really matter because you're in your moment. You're in your own element,
Exactly, exactly.
you know?
He cannot just be all styled, doing special
Yeah,
poses. No, this
yeah,
is about the
yeah,
moment, the art. Art is at work. Absolutely.
yes. So
Right,
I try to do that as much as possible, and we will try to do that again when they reopen New York City. So yes,
right.
that's definitely in the works.
Great. Tell me, what are you working on today? Maybe your newest collections. What are you up to those days?
Well, we just completed the flower of life and hope. What I'm wearing, the
Oh,
earrings,
can I
and
see? Can you come closer? I want to see. Come closer so everyone can see.
so this is
Yes.
what we.
Uh-huh.
This
Yes.
is the earring. It's
Oh, it's
actually it's all done by
stunning.
hand under microscope. You see how it sparkles? It's all the metal
Yes,
work that he does,
right.
and you can take it apart. I don't know. And wear two pieces separately. So one is a stud, and then
Right.
the other one is a dangle. So it's like three different ways wearing one piece.
I
We
would like
call
to
it,
order that. Like that, exactly that. Three in one. I love it. I love it.
yeah,
And
yeah.
also, I think that you have some rings that also like in the form of a flower. I absolutely love that.
Yes, yes, that's true. We do a lot of interchangeable pieces as well, and so that it's more versatile, especially in today's day and age when people want to get to wear the pieces for every day and also for special occasions. So, and they don't want to buy separately. For instance, they want it all in one. Yes. So
Can you show your ring? Your ring. You showed it,
oh,
but I want.
the ring I'm
Yes.
wearing a snail. That's one of
And show it like closer.
our signature pieces, is the snail. Um, we do we
Right.
do several different snail. It's like our snail collection is one of our signature. It's basically represents taking life, enjoying life one moment at a time. Since the snail is a slow.
Right. 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 Right.
He has a name, Cody the snail.
Aw.
And it's we have his Instagram following. He has his own hashtag, Adventures of Cody the Snail, with
Oh,
an
how
I at the
cute.
end. Yes, and all it's like the clients that get the snail become like part of the Cody the Snail family. It's like our own little travel group that travels around the world and posts cute pictures. And there's so many different patterns that it's done in, so many different color variations. You can get your own color variation and customized pieces as well. The starting price point of the snail collection is $390. So, and then it goes up from that.
I had no idea. I thought it was much more. So now I'm like, ding, affordable.
Yeah. Now, and right now we're having a sale, spring sale of 35% off. It's actually listed right on our, a link is listed right on our Instagram page. The pendant is $990. Also,
can you bring it closer? I haven't seen the pendant. I need to see.
Here.
Yeah. I can see. Beautiful.
It's a lovely dainty piece, and you know, I wear it all the time because it just makes me happy. It's such a happy flower, and you can wear it with yoga. You can layer it. You know, you can wear it to yoga, or you can layer it with other pendants. It's a perfect layering piece, and it's perfect for every day. And you just, you know, it's good karma.
Exactly. No, it's wonderful. Now I want to ask you if you have any final thoughts for our audience, as a business and as a person. Like, what would you say?
I would say never lose hope, and always persistence is the key to any success. Persistence and passion. I think it's Confucius who said, if you believe in what you do, you don't have to work a single day in your life. And I'm a believer of that. So that's my that's my advice to anyone who's running a business or who's thinking of running a business, is to persistence and passion, to follow your passion always, and you will succeed.
Right. Thank you so much. One more question. Are you willing and ready to coach other businesses? It seems like you have so much experience.
I actually do coach people. We have I take 2 interns from Fordham, which is the school that I went to. Usually 2 interns from Fordham per semester, where I coach them and I kind of prepare them for the real world, and they get behind the scenes experience, the real experience of marketing and PR, and how it really runs, and you know, builds their communication skills, which is also very important. You know, theory is one thing, but communication skills is totally different animal. You have to constantly brush up on your skills.
Definitely. And how can we get in touch with you? And if someone wants to purchase your jewelry, or just get in touch maybe with some collaboration ideas?
All the links are listed on our Instagram. All the social media. We're on YouTube, Facebook, anywhere. You can find us anywhere. Also, our own website is www.alexsoldier.com. And there's a contact us page where they can write us an email and contact us, and we reply usually within an hour or 2.
Right. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming and sharing your incredible story. Thank you, and I wish you all the best, and we'll see you very soon.
Okay.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.